All right. Woo. Look. I got that wow. Who wants some hands up right now? We got that. Turn it up loud. I know you're wondering how. I got that wow. Here I go, coming. I can't ever stop. I'm a tour de force running. Get me to the top. I don't need an invitation. I'm about to start a celebration.
Hello. Hello.
How are you?
I'm very good. And how are you?
I'm good. It's Saturday night for me.
Yeah,
That
would be nice.
Yeah, it's Tuesday for the rest of the world.
Yes.
But when it drops, it'll be Thursday. So let's just really confuse things, shall we?
I know, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a lot of confusing things tonight.
Yeah, we do. We sure do. Should we talk about what we're drinking first?
One moment. Let's introduce ourselves. This is 3 Cocktails In. But if you're watching and listening closely, you're only going to be hearing from 2 out of the 3 cocktails. So it is the delegate from Iowa and the delegate from Minneapolis here to chit-chat tonight about some big things and some little things.
Right.
So let's talk about our cocktails.
Okay.
What do you got?
That's in a pretty glass too.
Yes, it's called the Happiest Hour glass. It's gold and sparkly. What do you have?
It is pretty. Well, you can't see my glass, but it is my 3 Cocktails In glass.
Yes, and the drink matches your fingernails.
I know. And the drink is Carbliss. I think I talked about this one time that I suddenly happened on these. So Carbliss is a craft vodka cocktail. This one happens to be black raspberry, which I like okay, but I like the cranberry better. So the kicker is no carbs, 0 sugar, 100 calories, gluten-free. There you go. So it's a little less caloric than a lot of them.
So is that a drive to work or is it a cocktail?
Oh, no, it's a vodka cocktail.
Oh, okay. Okay. Do not drive that. Do not drink that.
No, it's not a bubbly water. It's actually got vodka in it. I thought I saw somewhere where it said how much, but I don't know.
It's usually what, 5% most of those?
5%. 5%. Yeah. So it is alcohol.
I'm rocking the old-fashioned gin and light tonic. So I've got a Hendrick's and light tonic with a twist of a lime. I have to tell you, I went out for it. Yeah, it's very good. It's very refreshing. Went out for dinner last night at Smack Shack, which is, do you guys have those like in Des Moines or Ames, Smack Shack? I don't know how far the franchise goes. But it's kind of bougie seafood for people who like to eat in shorts. So, it was a great night last night, beautiful weather. I hadn't eaten out hardly at all this summer. And so I talked somebody into sitting outside at the patio, which was delightful. But they make a gin and tonic on tap. Oh. And it's got grapefruit and then a stalk of rosemary in it. Oh my goodness. It was so good. And I'm not even a huge grapefruit person, but the grapefruit wedge was enormous. And damn, if I didn't finish that cocktail and eat the orange, eat the grapefruit, and then get myself another one. So evidently soaking a grapefruit in gin is a good idea.
Must be good. Yes.
Yeah, with a rosemary swizzle stick. So that was very nice.
Well, very nice.
Yeah. So what's been going on with you?
Oh gosh, same old days.
Now, you had the Voith Olympics last weekend.
Yes, we did. So I hosted the 2024 Voith Olympics, which is my side of the family, and we've talked before how my family loves to play games. It doesn't matter what game, everybody's in it and playing it, right? So we had driveway pickleball, we had spike ball, we had a new game called Mulkey, which is kind of like a yard game, kind of a cross between maybe yard bowling and bags, sort of. We play, and then when we got tired and hot, we go inside and then start playing all the card games. So that's what we did all
Who were
Saturday.
the big winners of the weekend? Who brought home the gold?
Yeah, Ty, I think, got 3 golds and a silver. So that would be my daughter's husband. He did very well. The rest of us were just kind of in it. Trenton did okay. I don't know. He was my
Partner?
partner for pickleball, just
Oh, okay.
pickleball.
I'm sorry,
And we
I got a toothy nose.
so I'm sure that was more me than him, but that's the way it goes.
I have come across some bless their hearts, women who seem old to me. So who knows? I am old
Yeah.
to people.
Are they?
So yeah.
So 59 or 65?
Yeah, exactly. But they are all in on the pickleball, of course, big craze. But I saw this woman with a chalkboard, like she's a coach, and she had little pieces on this chalkboard talking about the kitchen and where these are. I mean, she looked like she was coaching an NFL, Super Bowl Sunday, talking about strategy. And this woman doesn't look like she could carry a bag of groceries into her house. She was just this little itty bitty, teeny tiny thing with her hat on and I'm thinking, I would get my ass handed to me if I had to play pickleball.
Yeah. Yeah. My brother played a couple of games. We made my mom play, and she actually made like the winning serve and the winning shot of one game. And we just thought it was hilarious because she's awful. You know what I mean?
Funny.
Obviously. So that's why he got her. But yeah, she had fun. We all had fun. Nobody got too big a fight. So
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Your mom is like the best sport ever.
Oh, yeah.
She's down
Do
for
anything.
anything.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yep.
Talk about aging goals. Mother Mary, right up there.
Yeah.
She'll
still do.
Inspiration to me.
Yeah. She'll still do about anything. Yep.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
No. How about you? What's been going on with you?
Well, not to toot my own horn, but on the topic of inspiration goals, I shared a picture on my Facebook page, and I am such a Minnesotan. I went back and forth. Do I share it? Don't I share it? Do I share it? Don't I share it? And then it really just hit me that I'm going to share it. And it's pretty much the point of what we're trying to do with this whole podcast. We're not old. We're not too old. Let's
Not
say
too
that.
old.
We're not too old. We still have a lot of life in us. We still have goals and dreams and things that we want. And I found out when we were in France that I earned the Champions Club distinction with work for the third quarter last year. This year, I should say this year.
This year.
So what that means is I met my goals and I got some great reviews back from buyers in the neighborhood. And I got this gorgeous little crystal kind of etched thing. And I posted a picture and just basically said, you're not too old. I changed careers 2 years ago. 3 years ago, about 2 or 3 years ago, I made some huge life changes, and it just feels so damn good when you find that thing that you love to do. And it goes back to me liking to go to, I like to go to work. I like what I'm doing. And I just wanted to share that so that other people could think, hell, if that ding-a-ling can do it, so can I. So
Yeah.
I got my trophy, got my shirt. I'm kind of excited about it. Just felt good. Felt
Yeah.
good.
And I feel like besides that, you got a lot of comments of people,
Yes.
commenting. And I don't think that's bragging. I know that was kind of in your mind to start with, like, oh, I'm bragging about this. No, I think it's an opportunity for women to see women doing something and celebrating women, things you can accomplish.
Yeah, and not just, yes, of course, there's the cohort of us that perhaps has been doing the same thing for a long time, maybe just not excited about it, would like to try something new. Or there's younger women who are like, well, crap, I have lots of time ahead that I could do something different if I'm not crazy about what I'm doing now. And so I did get lots of good comments from men and women, lots of different ages. So, yeah, to be able to share that and say, hey, it's worth it. Yes, it's hard. It is
It's
hard.
hard.
And yes, sometimes we are old and a little bit, I don't want to say stuck in our ways, but we don't know how everything, you got to adapt. You got to go with it. But the alternative is worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So
For
yeah, I was
sure.
pretty geeked about that. Between that and then, a good gin and tonic that's got some grapefruit in it. It's a good day. I don't ask for much.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So the question, maybe people are wondering where Miss Kitty is, which kind of gets us to our topic of the day. Kitty's not with us tonight because unexpectedly her father passed away about a week ago. Shocking, of course. And we hope she and her family are doing well. We've been in touch with her, and she's had a lot of time that she could spend with her sister and her mom. And I know that was just really important. So instead of having to worry about jumping on and talking about all sorts of stuff, we got to talking about when our parents died. Both of my parents have passed away. Stacey, your dad has passed away.
Right.
Both my parents passed away from cancer. One, she lived with for 8 years. The other one came up on my dad pretty quickly. I think your dad was kind of a surprise too, wasn't it?
Yes, a surprise, but his end lasted a while. It was not a shock like I think Kitty's was.
Okay.
It wasn't shocking. We were getting closer and closer to assuming that that's what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know which is better, just have it over or watch him do the slow decline.
Right.
That's kind of hard to watch at the same time. But
Yeah.
neither's good.
That's how I felt about it too. That, once my mom was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and it was pretty, I don't know, maybe stage 3 when they caught it. But she lived 8 years with it. We pretty much knew that was going to be what was going to cause her death. And so you would think over the course of 8 years, you'd have some time to mentally wrap your head around it. But also in the course of those 8 years, you've got your own life going on.
Right.
And you don't want to sit and think about it. So you stay present and in the moment. And then when it actually gets down to it, both my parents were in hospice. I know there are people that use hospice as not quite like the last 2 weeks of life, like my parents did, but they use it for help in long-term keeping people at home that are, there's a lot of different ways to use hospice. But I don't think you can ever truly be prepared.
No.
To not have that last conversation, to be blindsided by, oh, I'm in the car. This is when I would always call Mom. And she's not there, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
So not only our parents, but now, I hate to say it, but, we might need to get our ducks in a row.
Are you saying we're no spring chickens?
Yeah, and I didn't want to say the chickens, so I opted for ducks. Getting the ducks in the row instead of the chickens.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. So I was surprised when my parents passed away that they didn't have a plan for my mom.
Oh, there wasn't. I mean that's a long time.
They knew she wanted to be cremated, but I'm like, so my sister and my brother and I sat with my dad, who was just, that's a lot. The immediate, the immediate stuff that you have to go through when a parent dies, who doesn't have it all laid out, It doesn't allow you time to grieve because you get so sucked in to minutia, details, logistics.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you had said
Yeah.
that your parents did have everything planned out.
Yes. My parents have everything planned out. They have, caskets paid for, bought, all the details, even the funeral details down to the music
Wow.
that will be played, right? So yes, that was nice. I mean, we didn't have to, unless we wanted to do something other than what they wished, which we wouldn't do, unless we wanted to change something, which we won't. That was nice to have it all. They did it all. They picked what they wanted.
Mhm.
Had all their, the executor set, their plans, that kind of thing, already done. So that was nice.
So you
Probably
mentioned
go.
you had met
For
you
your own
mentioned,
kids.
yeah, I don't have anything like that. Sorry, girls. I'll get on that. That'll be my fourth quarter goal for this year.
There you go.
Take care of my stuff. Get my acting gear. You mentioned executor. As the oldest daughter, are you the executor?
No, I'm not. Nope.
So
My middle brother is. I don't know why they chose him over my younger brother. They both live in the same town. I would think that would be easier to live close to where,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
You could
You
be
you know
close
the people
to
at the bank. You know the people at the church. Yeah, my
the
sister was my
courthouse
dad's.
and whatever you have to do. Yeah.
She
Right.
did the same thing for my dad too, because she lived not even a half a mile from him. So that was good. Do, do you have your stuff together?
Oh, no. No, of course not. But, and when we started this, conversation before, when we planned what we were going to do for a topic tonight, I have plans in my head, but that doesn't really do any good, honestly. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Right. Yeah. So that's the question. Are we too young to start making plans? I'm thinking my parents were more in their, mid 60s, maybe high 60s when they made all their plans.
I hate to break it to you, but that isn't so far away.
It's not very far away. No, it isn't.
No.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm all alone. So I feel like I really need to get my stuff together. And also, because I live by myself, I hope that if I am, we got to come up with some way for somebody to check on me, because right now I don't have one of those necklaces. Or if
You don't want to wear the
No.
don't want to wear the I've fallen and I can't get up necklace.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. I do usually have my cell phone pretty close to me. But again, and I don't have an Alexa. I do have the other one who I don't want to turn on right now, that I suppose I could call somebody. But like, if you don't hear from me can you be my designated well checker person?
Yes.
If you don't hear from me, or see a post from me or a message or connections or Wordle from me in 3 to 4 days, could you maybe reach out?
Yes. I mean, 3 days, that's what you want your number to be. 3 days, I don't see anything. Because you send Wordle every day.
Yeah. But if I haven't told you I'm going to be not Wordling, or I'm gone or something, and just out of the blue, you've noticed 3 days have gone by, I wonder.
Yeah. I'll try to notice that it's been 3 days.
Great.
It'll
So
probably
can
end
you
up being
put an alarm
5.
on your phone too every 3 days? Have you heard from Amy?
Yes. I'll check. I'll start making a mental note that,
Good.
gosh.
Yeah. Try and remember that. I know. So we're in this weird, I'm sure we're not the only people. We are in this weird position where I would guess most people have a parent, at least one, if not both of their parents are probably still living. And we have adult kids that might be needing to deal with us. I don't want my kids to have to wrestle with all this. My
Right.
my numbers girl, the one that would be probably most likely to deal with all the logistic stuff, she's too dang far away.
Right.
So I need to probably designate somebody. And so the conversation came up, and I'm going to say it. Who do I select as an executor?
Yeah. I mean, if we're going with someone that's close, you have a daughter that's fairly close to you, but that's the question. Would she be the best choice today? And I think as they get older, I think that might change, but having a young
28.
daughter do it.
She's 28.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think that's a lot. And strangely, as we've talked about this,
Okay.
I think I'm leaning towards my ex-husband. Isn't that weird?
I don't
Isn't it
know.
weird?
Well, he's the father of your kids, so it's not like he's gonna
Abscond with all of my assets.
right.
He
It's
didn't
probably
want
gonna
these
be
assets 4 years ago. He certainly doesn't want them now.
right. He's probably, it could be the opposite. It could be the, final FU to him, where he has to deal with all your stuff and get rid of all your stuff and deal with your,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. Well, my thought process actually was, everything I have is for my kids. They're
Yeah.
his kids too. He is a great dad. He is going to want to protect
Yeah.
whatever assets may be there
Right.
for them and
Yeah,
take
so
that
it's
on himself so that, yeah.
Yeah,
And we
not
do
an
have- we
awful
do have an
idea.
we
Yeah.
do have an amicable relationship. So
You do. So therefore it's not an awful idea.
it's not an awful idea. And if he's listening, I'll talk to you about this. Not on the podcast. We'll have a conversation about
Another
this.
conversation.
Yeah.
This didn't make it official.
Make a note to call me about this. I'm just pushing off all this stuff on other people. Make a note.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Push
He
Amy
loves
towards
things
making a plan.
Yeah, he absolutely loves it when I tell him what to do. So,
Oh, yeah.
we'll just be
That'll-
consistent to the end. Uh-huh.
Yeah. But don't, if you name someone, they pretty much have to follow through and do it if you make it official.
I think so. God, I hope so.
It's funny how the algorithms work, because we'd had kind of a little bit of this conversation, and then up on my, feed shows this ad for the If I Die binder. It's $30. So the premise is, it keeps all your stuff together, so whoever is stuck with dealing with your stuff after you die, it's all in one spot in a nice little binder.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Not a
on
bad
my
idea.
feed, I've gotten just beyond the binder. I've gotten the ad for the carrying case. It's got all the folders in it, and they're all labeled. And each folder has a checklist of stuff you should put in there. I am kind of thinking that might not be bad, because somebody has thought of all the stuff I should put in there.
Right. And I think the binder's the same way. It's got, pages and folders that says, okay, put your this in this folder kind of thing. Yeah. I can't imagine I'd have enough stuff to put in a big, I know what you mean, like a kind of like a tub, almost small tub.
Yeah. Well, no, just like, instead of a briefcase, it's that clear plastic thing with the lid that comes up and the hanging folders. But they had things in there like spare keys that are in there and labeled. And that would be a great idea, instead of just having them in a bowl.
Or what they go to.
No labels on any of them.
Yeah.
Good times. I'm pretty sure I have some keys to a church that we had Girl Scout meetings at when the girls fourth grade. I have keys from 20 years ago that don't even belong to any building I ever owned. So, yeah.
Oh my. Yeah.
Yeah. So, now let's really take a moment and laugh because so many things come to mind. And of course, this is one of these things that sometimes I get super embarrassed that when I get my mail, and other times I'm like, fuck it. Sorry. I think I stuck this together maybe because of my tonic, but look at what I have right in front of me. AARP.
Yes,
Art.
your art magazine. And is that who's on the cover?
Costner.
Kevin Costner.
Yeah. He doesn't look real good in this. This is not very good quality. His face looks a little bit like nougat, and I'm not keen on that. But I bring this up because there is a really good article in here. So, nobody really subscribes to ARP. You just sort of start getting it. And sometimes I look at it, sometimes I don't. But you know what? This was great because it has an article in here called My Mom Died, Then Came the Ordeal. And I read this thing, even though I don't have a mom here or a dad to deal with. And she has some really good suggestions that I think I am going to implement on the off chance that something goes amiss. You want to hear some of these?
Sure.
Okay. Take notes. So she knew she was going to be the executor, but I think her mother's death was a surprise. And so there were some things that might have been on the list to get done, but didn't get done, and it posed some problems. For instance, prepare for the cost of dying. Specifically, funeral costs, because you have to pay for all that up front. And even though you're the executor, you don't have access to your parents' financials unless you're already on their bank accounts as it's a joint account. So that's one of our very first pieces of advice. Name somebody, get them on your account so they can immediately have access and start using your funds or your parents' funds to pay for the things that need to be paid for right away. That's easy. I think that's a smart idea.
Yeah.
It says her next one was, when you're executor, there's even more expenses that you have to start paying for. And that means you have to have all the paperwork showing that you have legal rights to be asking for these things, because other companies, besides just the bank, aren't going to let you turn off accounts, pay accounts, stop these things if you aren't on them. So you could get yourself added to all the utilities. You should. That'd be an easy thing to do, but also maybe all the streaming services, Netflix, all of those things. The only thing of that I've done is I have left one of my daughters in charge of my Facebook account when I die.
Oh. So
Priorities.
in theory, they could post stuff today on your Facebook account.
Yes. But they can't pay for anything, but they can keep my social media up.
There you go. There you go. That's an idea.
Yep. Then something, this is kind of one of her points on here was a life and death lesson. Number 3, keep detailed records of all calls and conversations with the institutes you deal with. And make sure you file complaints with regulators if you're not being treated fairly. So when you are trying to battle to shut down the cell phone and you're not getting anywhere, to really do keep very accurate notes. And, we've joked about it a number of times. I have my pen right here. We've joked about it a number of times that we are already writing things down. We know you've got to write these things down.
Yeah.
And I might be making a sweeping generalization, but I think that there are a few generations following us who don't always have pen and paper and are used to making notes on their phone.
Notes. Yeah. Of who they talk to What the conversation was.
What the date was, what the time was, who you talked to, get those numbers, get those names, because you might need it. And you know how it is to call in and you talk to 12 different people because you can't ever call somebody's direct line. So I thought that was really awesome. Loved the idea about getting on the utilities. Then you've got, part of the assets, stocks, things like that. If you've got a brokerage, get yourself on that account. But she said her mom had some individually held stocks and bonds. And that was a royal pain in the butt for her to get those transferred to a brokerage, or something like that. But when it comes to the final FU to whoever you're dealing with, like you said, he would have to sort through all my stuff. Swedish death cleaning. Have you heard of that? Have you heard of that?
What do the Swedes do?
Okay, let me see if I can get to the explanation of the Swedish death cleaning. Sorry, have to, go to the next page in this. Basically, the premise is, as you age, you yourself go through all your stuff and purge. Seriously purge. We're not talking about donate your sweatshirts. The Swedes, they do everything. Get you down to just the bare minimum that you need. I even wonder if they're passing on things that bring them joy, like the...
I don't think we're ready for that, though.
Marie Kondo. What is her name, Get rid of anything
Marie
that doesn't...
Kondo,
yeah, thanks. But I think it's worth starting earlier than you think you should. I mean, think about when I moved. I knew for a year. I knew for a year I was moving. Didn't have the exact date, but I knew for a year I was moving. And we had a 3-story house with an unfinished basement full of everything.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That was...
It was a lot to go through.
It was a lot to go through.
Yeah.
And you've got a rental facility in your basement.
I do. I do. So when we packed up Amy's stuff, I took some of her stuff thinking, oh, yeah, I want that. I want that. I want that. Oh, my gosh. It's still in my basement, a lot of it.
Kitty has some of my stuff, which I love. I love going to Kitty's house.
Yes, she inherited
some stuff of mine. And the three of us came up with the whole idea of it's kind of a leasing for free. So
in case you ever want it back. Yeah.
Kitty's using the glider.
Yeah. Is your mirror still on your table?
Yes, it's painted and it looks good. Yep.
Great. Now to get it hung, right?
Yeah. I got it.
Yeah. So I had Amy's in my basement for about 2.5 years, and she finally decided what she wanted to do with it, or I just really took it to her and say, here, you figure out what you're going to do with it.
So it was the mirror that was in our house forever. It was maybe the first expensive piece of, I don't know if you call it art, you call it furniture, a home furnishing, but I got it at a to the trade only design showroom when I'd first started selling office furniture. It's a very heavy, big mirror, and it very much was in the theme of the 90s with the yellow gold and the purple grapes and the green leaves around it. And my problem forever has been I didn't know what color to paint it, because I've got aqua blue in my bedroom. I know right where I want to hang it. That's a plus. So after all of this angst, I painted it gold, yellow, the same color that it almost was.
If it's goldish, it's not the same, because the original paint was pretty muted yellow.
This is pretty. The color is a Sherwin-Williams Anjou pear. It's yellow.
Maybe it is yellow.
It's not bright yellow, but but I like it. I think it'll be good. Yeah. It's gonna be good on that wall. But yes, you got to get rid of that stuff.
Yeah.
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 So,
I'm just afraid if I give my kids all their stuff that I've been keeping or hoarding, whatever you want to call it, they'll just throw it away. You know what I mean?
okay. So let's talk about that. Tell me more about what you're worried about if it's their stuff and they want to throw it away.
Well,
I don't disagree. I just,
yeah, maybe they don't want to look at it, but their kids might want to look at their stuff. You know what I mean?
I do.
Baby clothes, stuff from school, their yearbook, things like that. But I've got lots of tubs of their stuff. So I get it. They could probably pare it down some. I just feel like they dump it all.
Yeah. Like they might not know what it was they wanted to keep or what they should. But again, that's
Yeah.
us making decisions for them.
Yes, that is. I just want to wait until they're older and then maybe I don't care if they go through it all and pitch stuff. I just don't want them to take the tub and dump it directly in the dumpster.
Oh, you want them to
without
actually
looking at
look at it?
Sure. Or I wait until my grandkids are a little older and I just keep giving them stuff. Here, take this of your mother's. Take this home.
Yeah. Well, I tried to do that really when we were selling the home. There were a couple of, they each had their favorite toys.
Yeah.
Madeline's, it was always books. She had the 66 quart tub full of books. All my Trixie Beldens, Babysitter Clubs, Harry Potter, she had a bunch of books that she wanted to keep. Georgia, it was art supplies. And, art supplies don't last forever. So that really wasn't it. But it was all the Scholastic Book Fair art books that I had bought her and some other stuff like that. And then Ava with those little pet shop toys. Do you remember those little pet shop toys?
Yeah.
And then all the houses. So they each have the 66 quart tub of the toys that they loved and played with. So I thought that was really good. I have one tub of all the dress-up dresses that my mom made for them. So my mom took bridesmaid dresses. She went garage sailing and bought other formal dresses, brought them home, cut them down, and made little dress-up princess dresses.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm probably guaranteeing that all my grandchildren will be boys, who don't want to wear the dresses.
Right.
Which is, fine. But the fact that I kept them, that and their dance costumes, because they were in dance for a number of years. And that was the one thing that I didn't let them wear. I mean, I didn't let them play in. I'm like, we don't have that many heirlooms. Your kids are going to think this is funny. Yeah. They're going to like looking at those. And then the rest of it, a couple of jerseys that they kept, maybe first pair of cleats.
Right.
They're going to be like, look at these brittle things that, they don't care about anymore. So,
yeah.
I don't know. So, do you have an executor picked out? Do you have, who's going to be? You do. Tell me more.
Yeah. So it will be.
Are you going to name the person?
Yes, I can.
Conversation first.
No, he knows it's on him. He knows he knows that it'll be him. I don't know if the two girls do, but it'll be, my middle son, just because.
That's his thing?
That's his thing. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I think so.
That's good. So when are you going to add him to your accounts?
That's a good question. That was interesting, the article that you said. I'm more thinking for my mom, I hadn't thought of the utilities thing.
Yes.
We do have, we're on her checking account, but hadn't thought of a lot of the other things.
The utilities. And the passwords. Holy hell. Get the passwords now. While, I have a hard enough time trying to remember them, but.
Yeah, I know. So that's the thing for us, how, because I'm paperless, you know what I mean? So all the credit cards and,
there are apps. There are apps that you can put all your passwords in there, keep them, and then you only have to have one password to get into that.
Passwords. Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm just saying we should probably share that somehow because there won't be a statement laying around where they could even figure out that we had,
An account with this
an
account number.
account with that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
I kind of like my paper. I like to still look at them. God, I'm decrepit. Part of it was I loved a shredder.
Oh my
There
goodness.
is nothing more fulfilling than shoving receipts into a shredder that just goes, and then, I don't know.
Yeah,
Weird.
I just throw them away.
Yeah.
Just check. Okay.
Hey, when you were talking about having the funeral plans all mapped out, reminded me of my little Papa Shaw, my dear, dear grandfather, who was the sweetest man. Sweet, so sweet, such a kind, kind man. So lived in this little itty bitty town in Iowa, Denison. He and my grandmother, and Papa Shaw didn't really want to retire, kind of liked staying busy and very involved in their church. When he hit probably his 70s, he got tapped to drive the widows and widowers from funerals to the funeral home. He was kind of for lack of a better term, a concierge. He didn't have anything to do with the planning of it. He was just there because he was just such a compassionate soul.
Sure.
So when it got time for his funeral, he had everything mapped out. Down to there will be no lime jello served at the post-funeral luncheon.
Oh, that's funny.
I thought it was hysterical because this man, if somebody would have given him a bowl of lime jello, he would have eaten every single spoonful and said, "Thank you. It was delicious." But he had that written down. Nobody brings lime jello. So I do think it's worth a few thoughts about what you'd like to have and not have.
Yep. That's a funny request, but that's what he wants. So that's how it'll be.
Yep.
Right.
I think we could take notes. I've given Georgia notes before. I'm like, "Hey, I want this plate at my funeral." And she's like, "Great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks."
Oh, mine is to my daughters, make sure you pluck all my chin hairs. I don't want to be although I think I'm leaning more towards cremation anyway. So that's a whole nother. I don't know why it would be.
It's so funny that you said that. We put makeup on every day. And even if it's not makeup, we put on moisturizer and take our makeup off. And we do all that. I was sitting in a parking lot today and I looked up and I'm like, where did that one come from? And this one. And they weren't gray hairs.
They grow in an hour, I swear. I know.
Here's a tip, ladies and men. Here's a tip. I now travel with the tweezers in my emergency bag in my purse. And I sat there in the parking lot and I took care of it.
I have one in my purse. Yeah, mine is more for not the casket. However, it's more for when I'm really old and not paying attention. Please do it. Please do it for me. Yeah.
No eye-hand coordination. Very good. Let's write that in too. Make a note, people. Watch the chin hairs.
There you go.
All right. Well, I hope that we've given you guys some good things to think about, both as an adult who needs to get their ducks in a row, and as sons and daughters of people who, it'd be worth having the conversation now when it's not offensive and you can laugh about it, maybe have a humorous conversation, but just say, "Hey, I promise I won't withdraw any money. Could you put me on your checking account?" Yeah.
Right.
"Mom, I need a loan." Not that sort of conversation.
Right.
And I hope Kitty and her family are doing well. I hope they've enjoyed being together and have felt the love that we've been sending their way.
Right. We've been thinking about them all for the past week, for sure. It's hard. Definitely hard. We know.
Yep, it is. So those good memories Good memories to share. Tell people all you want. So,
Right.
all right, my friends, that ends
Is
yet
a wrap.
another addicting conversation with friends who have been there, done that, still want more.
Yes, for sure.
Have a good
Cheers.
week. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.
All right. Woo. Look, I got that wow. Who wants some hands up right now? We got that, turn it up loud. I know you're wondering how. I got that wow. Here I go, coming. I can't ever stop, I'm a tour de force running. Get me to the top, I don't need an invitation. I'm about to start a celebration, let me in. Brought a good time, plus some friends. Turn it up.